Say you don't like it, no. No, you don't like it. Let me rewrite it, then. Let me read. Say you don't like it, no. No, you don't like it. Let me rewrite it, then. Let me read. Say you don't like it, no. No, you don't like it. Let me rewrite it, then. Let me read. Say you don't like it. No, you don't like it, no. Let me rewrite it, then. Let me in.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Rewriters Room. We are the men with the pen. I am 1/3 of our illustrious trio, Armon CC. Some may know me as the John Cena of journalism, the Paul Heyman of podcasting, the Roman Reigns of rhetoric, the Brock Lesnar of broadcasting. I do not do this show alone. You've heard him with his incredible ad-libs. My brother CC, how the hell are you?
I had to step back, be the hype man for the main star of the show. But now that I got the stage, I want to let you know it's CC, the best rapper, producer in the whole wide world. God body, because I consume healthy products and do towel curls, benevolent servant to the earth, and philanthropist. Every phrase I say is a gem like amethyst. You could put it. You're nice to me. Dope ass women gonna be like, who the fuck man is this? I may talk a lot, but only got one thing to say. Give all you can. Take care of your people and your land. We doing this today without my nigga Chann. But how you doing, Armon?
I'm good, man. And I think if Chann was here, he would say, reporting live from the mid-card, something that we will get into later when we touch on Backlash. But the mid-card was very well represented at the show. Some current mid-carders and some mid-card alumni. So I'm very happy about that. But I'm good, man. And you calling me the main star when I feel like I'm the opener for you, given your amazing introduction. But besides that, we are all equals here. This is a trio that we cannot, all parts here are necessary. This is it's like a bacon, egg, and cheese. You can't have just bacon. I mean, you can have bacon and eggs, but the cheese heightens it. But are you just gonna eat bacon and cheese? You can have eggs and cheese, that's cool, but adding the bacon spices it up. So we are all necessary ingredients to this incredible thing that we've put together here. But
we would be like if the Shield had 3 equally great people.
Hey, I've definitely had to look back on the strong Dean Ambrose fandom that I had back in the day and be like, was he as good as I thought he was? That WWE shine be hiding a lot of niggas deficiencies, man. Let me tell you, for all of them to go to the other company or leave and do those, I feel like I got freed from jail promos, and you go see what they doing. It's like, maybe jail was good for you.
It's like, if that was jail, then why is the jail food better than the outside food? Because that's what it looked like. Fuck.
Shit crazy, man. Shit crazy. But given that Chann is not here, we're not going to be continuing with our rewrite of the Bloodline story. We're not going to do any trivia either. This would be as if the men with the pen had writer's block and just needed to take a break. So we're going to call this a writer's break. We're calling it In the Ring today, but thankfully we have something that's very recent and was a big deal to talk about. I talked about it earlier. That is the Backlash PLE. It emanated from St. Louis, Missouri. Five match card. And there was a lot of, and that's just kind of the nature of WWE these days, is everything is hyper focused on, hyper criticized. There's just all of these eyes and all of this nitpicking. So I want to ask you, CC, going into the Backlash card, seeing what it was, well, what was your excitement level? And then seeing what came of the show, how did you feel afterwards?
Yeah. So going into the show, I felt pretty good. The thing is I always look at things in a larger context. It's really hard for me to drill down and push it out the way and just look at that without relating it to other stuff. So that being said, I'm glad he gone and he don't name this shit anymore or whatever. But I remember when it was for some reason named WrestleMania Backlash for a couple years or whatever. But I just remember that is the point of this show. If you it's the name of the show is Backlash. A lot of shit happened. This is the backlash as a result of it. So going into it, the only thing that I'm looking for is, do niggas hate niggas? And I feel like we got a lot of niggas hating niggas, so much so that you get niggas hating niggas and they don't click in multiple different matches and whatnot or what. So I appreciated that. I felt good going into it. I felt like when I got there, it really delivered. As far as like the hate, as far, we'll get into the whole show as far as delivery, but yeah, I feel like they did a good job as far as setting that up. What about you?
Yeah, going into it, I didn't really have crazy expectations, man. Like when I think back over my years of being a wrestling fan, like there have been very good Backlash shows, but I never expect it to be this like I don't know. Like I think I just do a good job of managing my expectations in general. But Backlash, it's the show directly after WrestleMania. So one, you have a lot to live up to. Two, I don't think they're trying to live up to whatever expectations people set for them. And a lot of it is rematches or continuations of stories. Maybe you get a new story that's beginning. But for the most part, I'm just like, are the matches good? Are the stories good? Was the build solid enough, and did the show deliver for me? I thought the matches that they booked were good. I'm enjoying most of the stories, and ultimately watching the show, I enjoyed the show. Um, and I guess we can get into it a bit more specifically now. It was a show where the undercard really delivered. I thought that the Fatal 4-Way opener, Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, Damian Priest, really good. One, those are all good workers. And then two, you get the added element of, okay, what's going on with Jacob and Solo? How is that story going to progress? And then you see the introduction of Jeff Cobb. And Jeff Cobb helps Jacob Fatu win the match, but it doesn't look like Jacob knew Jeff was coming out. It don't look like he's really with getting helped. And he told Solo that on Friday. So Solo, who's still trying to maintain some control of his new group, trying to act like he's a leader, even though Jacob has clearly outpaced him in terms of popularity, in terms of positioning. That's a really interesting wrinkle, because you got to think like Tonga Loa is coming back soon. Tama Tonga, who's hurt, he's going to be back eventually. Whose side are they going to be back on? Like, are we going to see more internal warfare within this family? So I think that's a really interesting added element to it. I talked about it in the Discord. I also like that top stars are in the mid card right now. Like it's unfortunately a byproduct of the fact that John Cena is champion. He's not there every week. His stories are kind of set for what they are. So there's not. I don't think we're going to see any contenders matches to face John Cena. I think it's going to go from Randy Orton. Clearly, we saw the R-Truth thing. We're going to eventually get to Punk, and I think we're going to circle back to Cody. So a lot of these guys who should be fighting for world titles on SmackDown don't have anything to do. Hey, man, Roman Reigns was a U.S. champion at one point. He was an Intercontinental champion at one point. We've seen top guys come down and, like, when they need to do it, they fight for the mid-card title. So I like that Drew, Priest are there. I think it helps to boost that division even more. And yeah, so overall, I thought that was a really good match.
Yeah, no, I'm right with you. Everything you said, especially I think the key thing that you said that stood out to me was including the A star. I would consider A stars in the Fatal 4-Way. Like, I would argue every single one of those people in the Fatal 4-Way is a main eventer. You could just do different stratifications if you want to say low main eventer, but like literally one of them has had a world championship, one has competed against the tribal chief during that reign. We already know where Jacob is going to be going, and then obviously Drew, who's already like a Hall of Famer off rip or whatever. So like when you look at I think this is one of those things where, to be honest, this is where it's funny to be like a wrestling fan that watches wrestling often and is like used to the product. I think it's one of those things where you're too into it. I don't think we're going to realize how special what the fuck we just watched was. You know what I mean? Until it's like maybe 10 years from now. Because 10 years from now, we'll go, oh shit, all of those guys were in a Fatal 4-Way together. Because think about it. How many times do we do trivia? And we're like, wait, Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar, and Rey Mysterio and so-and-so were all in one match together? That's what this shit was. Or at least, the start of it for some people at the start of their career. So I appreciated that we had that. The main thing that I love, the last thing I want to add is the story. The story was beautiful from the very start. Immediately, it was like, I got beef with this nigga. I got beef with this nigga. Fuck this 4-Way. And then the way it followed from there with Drew and Damon just ended up taking each other out or whatnot. And the way you can tell the story, like LA's story gets furthered again, even though he's not really like the star of what happened in the story of the match. So like there's so many things that have happened. And I think to take the complexity of a 4-way with all these outside characters and to be able to do that match without it feeling too convoluted or overbooked, bruh, like that right there, you put that shit in a class. Like put that shit in, and if you want a book, put that shit in a booking class right there.
It's crazy looking at LA. He's one of the Bloodline's most enduring rivals right now. Like for over 2
Him and
years,
Drew.
he's
Him
been
and Drew
dealing
were
with them.
the most enduring ones, and they were both in the same match.
It's crazy. Like I wouldn't have predicted that, you know, he would have spun back after he got his match with Roman. But prior to that, obviously the tag match against Jimmy and Solo with John Cena, but he's right back in the mix with these guys. And now he's got another person to deal with in Jeff Cobb. So his climb back to the US title, if he's going to get that again, is it's interesting. Like I'm definitely a bit tired of seeing LA in every SmackDown main event. I'm kind of tired of the tag team main event format, someone and him versus Bloodline members. But I mean, he's over. Like that pop last night was loud. Like pretty much everything he did in that match was loud, and he's been delivering in ring too. So you know, even if it's something that I'm tired of, I get why it's happening because like he's bringing it. It's not like they're forcing someone into the position who isn't good. So
the register's still ringing. That cash register's still motherfucking ringing. So shit.
Yeah. So major credit to him. I believe the next match was, I think it was Lyra Becky. And that was my match of the night. This has been a really good story. It got cooked up pretty fast, but it's been delivering. Lyra's been bringing it on the mic. Becky, we know what she does. This is a huge progression for Lyra. Prior to that, she was defending against, you know, Dakota Kai, Ivy Nile, but she's been working her ass off. She's been a really good Intercontinental champion. But, you know, you face that mountain that is Becky Lynch, and she's contending for a title she's never had. I remember someone said, like, the odds were like people expected Becky to win. And like I was split. I was like, do you want to take the title off Lyra so soon? Like it's Becky, so like it's never a bad move to put a title on Becky, but she'd get a lot out of beating her again. So I told my boys last night because we were watching it together. I was 60% Lyra retains, 40% Becky wins. And looking at how the match went, she kicked out a mad manhandle slams. She was pulling stuff, like pulling out different moves, just getting real crafty. It was technical. It was passionate. It was emotional. It was a brawl. Like it really had all the ingredients of a strong wrestling match. And then you got some Gaga with, you know, Becky trying to bring in the chair and then removing the turnbuckle and just the finish. Becky, who's fucking a mastermind, got outsmarted, which you know she's gonna be tight about that. So she's definitely gonna come with some fire. You know, when it's time for Monday Night Raw. But that was my match of the night. Just exceptional in-ring work, and I'm feeling very good about putting stock into Lyra Valkyria early on and seeing that, you know, the stock keep going up.
Bruh, yeah, no. I'm 100% with you. And it's just so funny, like when I listen to how you sort of think about this, it's reflecting a lot of things that I also sort of feel. And to one of the last things you said about how Becky's gonna come in on Monday with a lot of fire, I had to catch up because I had a whole company meeting last week, so I missed damn near everything. So I spent the last couple of days just catching up, bro. That Lyra promo on Friday, I said, oh, well, okay, oh shit. So when I saw that, you know how you had the 60% of her retaining, I was like, you gonna have to show me something crazy in this match for me to believe Becky's gonna win. Because after I just watched, like, what I watched her do on Friday is the same thing I watched her do on Saturday, and now like I'm here, and I'm fine saying it. Friday night and Saturday night, Lyra and Becky were on equal levels, if not Lyra was above in both fields of talking and wrestling. Sorry. It is. I watched what I watched. I know what the fuck my eyes saw. I've seen Becky in the ring with a lot of people. I have not seen Becky in the ring with somebody who looks like they're on their her level or better, like at that pace and intensity with the emotional sort of storytelling. The literal wrestling was really good. They would speed it up and slow it down right at the right times. Also, the emotional storytelling of it and how they chose to do what moves and whatnot, that was all perfect too. Or whatnot. And when you think about Lyra, how long Lyra's been here, it's like, wait, hold on a second. She already here. So for me, I'm like, bro, yeah. So and I say that to say like when you were talking about bringing up like how there was like Becky Hogan allegations or whatever, and we're talking about that title, and for me, I'm just like, okay, you guys like if you got to look at what you want to do if you H in company or whatever, right? You want to make the Intercontinental title. You also want to make Lyra or whatever. If you let Becky win, you make the Intercontinental title because now Becky has the Intercontinental title. But what the fuck about Lyra? And if you look at the past 6 months, what the fuck has everybody been saying? Oh, this shit been feeling like a little stale, whatever. But that's because Lyra hasn't faced the Becky. They do this one promo on Friday. They got this one match on Saturday. Look how much the Women's Intercontinental Championship matter now. Like this think this is what's happening here, and this is why another reason why Becky is really good, because not only is she good at the promo, not only is she good at the match, but advancing the fucking the agenda of the company. Oh, when you need somebody to come in and play a soldier and do that, there's your guy. That's why she the man.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Like the way it unfolded doesn't surprise me, because Becky, while she is top girl, she's also one of the most generous, and she knows what to do to make someone look really good. And you don't have to do much to make Lyra look really good, because again, she brings it on the mic. She's great in ring. But again, it's like it's one thing to face her when you're in NXT, but then to face her on a PLE in a sold out arena, like, it's just a whole other ball game. And she brought it. And I think Becky, really put her in position to look even better than she normally does. So love that 100%. Match. Can't wait to see how the feud continues. I'm interested in what Becky's going to do next, because it's clear, like, she's got some trouble with Lyra on her own. So does she find herself a shooter? Does she find herself a hench woman? Do they have a match with a stip? Like, there's a lot of different directions that this can go. But I think one thing,
what's crazy though? The crazy thing is I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just noticed there's a mirror between Lyra and Becky. Mm-hmm. Becky accidentally got punched in the face, had the nose thing, and then turned into the man. Lyra just pinned Becky with the whole nose thing, and she can use that too. And be like, yo, I still got this off while my nose is messed up. Like, it's crazy how that reality plus the story like blending together will generate more story. I think that's going to be something later down the line, honestly.
Yeah, no, it like when she was holding her nose like that, I was like, is she working? She's shooting, but either way, it just made it look really good, because it was like, damn, she had to go through all this to get this W over her. And she's so like hurt by what happened to her that like she's getting the pin, but also trying to, check on her nose and shit. So it was just great. I really loved it. Big shout out to Lyra. The next match, arguably one of the best stories going into the show, and also something they cooked up really fast, is Gunther Pat McAfee shit, man. Going into it, a lot of people thought that Gunther was just gonna outright kill Pat, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if y'all remember, Pat McAfee's matches, his match against Corbin, his match against Theory at WrestleMania, the stuff he was doing in NXT. I'm not gonna call him an elite worker, but like he can work, like he can bring it in the ring in terms of storytelling, passion, and actual moves. Now, Gunther was definitely the aggressor for most of the match, but I think Pat had some really good hope spots, hope moments where it's like, oh shit, like this is the babyface comeback. He's gonna make you believe he could do it. Even the moment where Michael Cole held Gunther's leg, you're like, yo, is Pat about to pin Gunther? What the fuck? And then Gunther kicking out of that, I was like, yeah, nah, this ain't good. Gunther's made. And a lot of people were questioning, like, yo, what are they doing with Gunther? Why is he facing Pat McAfee? I'm like, well, he just lost his title at WrestleMania to Jey Uso, someone who he deemed beneath him. So he's naturally going to be angry. And he's got to get his heat back. He's got to get a win that matters. And Pat, I won't call him a top star in the company, but he's a star in the world. So Gunther beating Pat McAfee is just a big deal just off of name. So I thought the story was booked well. I thought the match was booked really well. Michael Cole was he was awesome. He was so good in that match, stepping in, trying to defend his boy. Like, just this era of Michael Cole's career as a commentator and also as a character and personality has just been really good. So I enjoyed that not that I expected to not enjoy it, but I enjoyed it more than I thought I would enjoy it, if that makes
Oh,
sense.
same. 100%. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in my career, I am going to call a match completely biased. I was like, damn, nigga. All right. I was like, chill. No, that shit was, no, it was way better than I thought it was going to be. I got scared when I saw it come out with the cool grays on. I was like, oof, I don't know. He might slip a little bit too much. And he did miss that rope, but that boy kept going after that. And to your point, like, about the expectations around him and like previous matches is like the thing we always got to remember. I never like, I don't know if it's because, we actually not, I'm realizing we both been involved in this and I feel like you never lose it. Like, if you've really been an athlete long enough, you don't really, there's not too much like athleticism you lose. You know what I mean? Like the average person come off the couch, they gonna have to really train. There's a reason why Logan and what's it called? Pat can seem like they can quote unquote jump in and like do that is because there's already a baseline level of athleticism there. So like that's what he had to work with, and it looks like he took it up another level when he did the kip up off the top of his head. I said, "Oh shit, okay." I love the story, and I think coming into the story, Pat like outlined it perfectly. Like this story is about Gunther's character. This story is about nothing else but Gunther character. Sammy, Jay, and Pat have all been devices in the story of Gunther's character. And Gunther's character is, hey, I'm really here for the real wrestling shit, none of that rah-rah bullshit or whatever. But when you look at what the business of wrestling is, like the reality is that you do need the rah-rah or whatever. You do need the what he would consider like ridiculous or unserious or whatnot, which is why when he's gone up to face it, because he's underestimated the value of it, that's why he loses. So when he came into this one, he was like, listen, I'm not going to underestimate the value of it. That also don't mean I'm not going to act like an asshole and just whoop you around and slap you around and play with you still. Like I'm still going to do that or whatever. But at the end of the day, he looked at it and he was like, listen, I'm not going to not take this serious to where like I'm a fuck up or whatever. I'm going to take this serious enough or whatever, but I still am who I am. It's just like another layer to Gunther. So like watching that happen in this story, I'm so excited now because I have no idea where he's about to go now, but I feel like it's about to be cool as fuck. I'm just ready to see what happens with Gunther next.
For sure. Yeah. I'm interested as well. Like part of me questions, does he stay on Raw come draft time? Because you've got a lot of opponents lined up for Jay, and you've got this top Seth Rollins faction. I think it's only a matter of time before Seth gets that title. So do we finally get to see Gunther Seth? But they're both heels right now. So do we see this progression of Gunther's character ultimately turn him babyface? I honestly think it will be cool to send him over to SmackDown. Maybe we get Gunther John Cena before Cena retires. Because I don't know what else you do with Gunther. I mean, there are reports that Gunther Goldberg is planned. But Gunther would likely end up winning that match, and Goldberg would be the face in that situation. So it's interesting. Like, I mean, one thing about Gunther is anything that he does is going to be entertaining, enjoyable, and ultimately good. So it's not a matter of damn, like they're fumbling Gunther. Like that's never going to be the conversation. But I also know that H loves that man, and I think this period of time with him not holding a title, I think that they should get the most out of it that they can. Last year, after he lost the IC title, he went right into the King of the Ring tournament, won that, and he was contending for the World Heavyweight title 4 months after. So, and he didn't really show up on TV much in between winning King of the Ring and facing, fighting for the World Heavyweight Championship. So I think this run before he eventually gets back to a title will be really good for his character development, character building, and I just hope that they really, lock in on that and put a lot into that before they eventually, put him back in the title picture.
Yeah. We've seen it happen with Drew, so they could easily do it with Gunther. Like Drew's still on it. Drew been on it for a couple years. He would have made the most out this shit. Multiple WrestleMania moments, bro. Yeah. Bored at work.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Part 1 and part 2.
Come on, bro.
Yeah. Next match, Dom and Penta Intercontinental Championship. I was split on this one too. I was like, Dom don't need a long reign with that title, and it seems like his demise will ultimately come due to the turmoil within Judgment Day. But I didn't think he was going to lose it this soon. But at the same time, Penta, they have shot that man to the moon, And I thought that this would be a cool opportunity to crown him, but it seems like they want to give him more adversity. So not only did he have to deal with the Judgment Day, but you saw El Gran, Chad Gable, masked Chad Gable,
I think you
his,
mean El
his
Grande Americano, who's a
El
completely
Grande,
different person. I don't know if you
my
like.
bad.
I don't know if you know how reality works, but they're two different people.
Right,
Somebody
right.
can't get arrested and kicked out of a building and then come back in the building. They would know it was him. Duh.
My bad, bro. I'm out here fucking it up. But yes, one really good match. Dom's and I feel like we talk about it every time he gets into the ring, but I'm definitely one of the people who has to eat the most crow. And I wasn't wrong at the time when I said Dom was a terrible wrestler, but
None of us were wrong. We were all right. Every single one of us.
But the way he's locked in and is legitimately like just working matches so well, that tornado DDT pulling out Liv's finisher, like he's not just an asshole that you want to see lose anymore. Like one, you want to see him work a good match first because he can, and then you want to see him lose, but you also kind of want to see him win. Like he's in that rare air of being such a detestable heel and being so good at it that he's getting cheered now. Like people were happy to see him win at WrestleMania. And so I was very split on what would happen here, but a really good match. Finn coming in, trying to help Dom out, fucking up, and then the way it finished, Dom retaining, really good. Like there, and you saw as they were standing on the stage, Finn was just staring at that title, glaring at it. Like we know it's gonna happen eventually, and we know H loves a slow burn, and he has been slow burning the fuck out of this story. This is beyond a crock pot. This is I don't even know what to call this cooking apparatus that that H is using, but it's moving the way he wants to move, and I think it's still engaging, but really good match, really good match. And I think when Penta does overcome Judgment Day and everything that's working against him, it'll probably come via help from Ray Phoenix and maybe the LWO guys. But this shit it's good. It's good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, that nigga cooking that shit like they let whiskey age. I don't know what the fuck going on with this shit. Yeah, no, it's I think this is like first Dom, yeah, 100%. Like the heel aspect I bought in a while ago. Obviously the in-ring aspect, it was at some point last year, but I can't remember exactly when. But I was like, it was one of those moments where you're like, wait a second. Like, I don't know what it was, but I was just like, he's faster, he's smoother, and not only that, his whole playing up the heel thing as he's getting attacked or whatnot isn't like the best part of his game anymore. It wasn't like obviously the best part of his game anymore. So like seeing that like just jump to another level while Penta's also like complimenting that at the same time, because I think that's the cool thing too. Like this is again one of those moments where we're gonna go back and be like, yo, these guys had this match, and obviously it's gonna be one of many that they probably have. They probably gonna be the new Ray and Eddie for real as far as like their stuff. I can see them having that for a while and throw in Ray in there too, honestly. Phoenix. But the thing that I loved the most was I was gonna ask you, like, you ever like was trying to slide on a shorty or whatever, like maybe y'all already know y'all liked each other or whatever, but you had your intent, you made up your mind. He's like, listen, at some point I'll make a move or whatever, and then like but you wasn't where she was, but your man's was there, and he's like, yo, you need me to like, X, Y, and Z. He asking you if he basically want to make the play for him, whatever. And then he come back and like, oh, sorry, man, he got fucked up. But then you find out he fucked it up on purpose. That's Finn. That's Finn right now. That is Finn Balor, my nigga.
Absolutely.
I was like, oh, let me go get the chair. All right. Okay, nigga. All right, word. And then JD was like, what was you doing? He was like, no, I just thought it would be better. I just maybe I should go get the chair. That was funny. I cannot wait to see how far this goes. Also, I think the last thing I'll say is having AJ come in and do that little thing with Finn real quick, just giving hints as to the other relationships that Finn has, especially with JD coming back. My brain's starting to tingle. I don't know what's happening. I'm not galaxy braining it. I don't think it's going to be some huge big thing, but I don't think Finn goes from just in the Judgment Day to out of the Judgment Day like by himself. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, we saw Finn talking to Roxanne last week, and in the background of one of those segments, we know Roxanne is working with Julia. So if they want to do like a Re-Rox Bullet Club, Finn, AJ, Roxanne, Julia, that is That's hard, my nigga. That's Rox and Julia beating Liv and Rack for them tag titles. I'm with that.
Bruh.
I'm with that.
I'm attached.
I'm with
I'm
that.
with it. Are you kidding me?
And then we get a cool like 8-person tag team match: Dom, JD, Liv, Raquel versus AJ Finn, Roxanne, Julia. There's so much you can do.
God damn
There's
it.
so much you can do. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Whew.
So really enjoyed that, and I'm really enjoying, what can ultimately come from it. But let's get to the highly polarizing main event. John Cena, Randy Orton, one last time, undisputed WWE Championship match. Admittedly, did not have high expectations for this. Like this was built off pure nostalgia, history, and the aura of Randy Orton and John Cena. And I mean, I get it. Like in wrestling, sometimes you got to book that match with two dudes who people love. It may not be the best, but people are going to buy tickets for it. People are going to watch it. They're going to be invested, and you just kind of let things, fall the way that they do. Match was not great to me. It's one thing for the match to be slow and methodical. It's another thing for it to just be molasses and a lot of different breaks and just, trying to play the hits. And there were some cool spots. I really liked the RKO counter to the AA. I liked Randy doing the AA. I like John Cena doing Randy's taunts. But 3 ref bumps, that's real rough, man. That's a little too much. That's like putting ketchup on fries and then just like completely just emptying out half the bottle on the damn basket of fries. Like you got more ketchup
Yeah,
than fries.
yeah, it's a little bit of fries in your ketchup at that point.
Yeah, like ketchup with a side of fries. Like that's kind of what that was. The R-Truth thing, I think we expected Truth to get involved with Cena. It was funny. It was a little entertaining, but it was also cool to see Randy just spam RKOs on everyone. But I think this will lead to a longer discussion just about our feelings on the John Cena heel turn in general. But what were your thoughts on the match?
You know what the problem is? Right before the John Cena did his thing where he did his old comeback tour shit, I watched a fuck ton of WCW content. And I also have a galaxy brain. So like there's a part of me, I know it's not happening, but there's a part of me just because I can see the parallels. I'm like, bro, when he said he's ruined wrestling, I'm like, is this nigga just booking his matches like Hogan and Bischoff when Hogan had the title? Because if you look at it, it's like the 3 ref bumps. That's ridiculous. That's some WCW shit. Why would you do that? It doesn't make any sense. Like this is dumb, or whatever. So like, I'm like, is that the point for it to be stupid like that? But like even still, it's like, or whatever. So like, going away from that perspective and just looking at it as it is, it's just like, it's one of those things where I feel like there's a lot of I think there's too much emphasis on the matches and not enough emphasis on the stories. I appreciate the creativity. What's clear is that you're trying. That's what's clear. That's what we can work with that. And we can go from there because it's not like you bullshitting or whatever. You trying to do something. It's just that where you trying to go is not fucking working. I think the issue is that you put in too much of the try into the fucking match. You need to put the try around the story, and the story don't just mean promos or whatever. It don't just mean promos. And I think that's the issue. It's just promo match, promo match, promo match. And it's like, you missing something. There's really something missing, especially because we already know it, the story got fucked up because your boy like set it up and then abandoned it or whatever. But at this point, it's like, don't take something that's like spread out all over the floor and then keep it like spread out and then just try to organize it as it spread out everywhere. First of all, let's bring it back all together, solidify it a little bit, and then we'll figure out what we want to keep and what we don't want to keep. Then take that and make something of it. And I don't think they ever did that. And that's what we're watching. That's basically what we're watching.
It's very disjointed. The Rock was the catalyst for John Cena turning heel. And it's tough because we always wanted to see a heel John Cena. And had they just done that without The Rock setting it off, it would have probably been fine. But now we have Cena feeling like second in command to The Rock, but the first in command isn't around. So this being his retirement tour and his record-breaking 17th world title reign, it ultimately feels like a means to an end, which it shouldn't feel like. This should be the thing. But in the back of my mind, I'm waiting for, are you going to explain why you aligned with The Rock, someone who you have historically beefed with? If not, you cutting these similar promos every week, which I do think they're good, but they're pretty one note. Like there's just a missing aspect to this. And you guys throw us the nostalgia bait with Randy Orton, which, hey, it's great. It's going to work on people who maybe don't think that deep into this. But fans are smart. We're smart wrestling fans. We're analytical. We want it to make sense to us, and it's not making sense. Like doing the heel turn is one thing. Sticking the landing and really executing it well is another thing. I need to see Cena be more dastardly. I need to see him do some really vile shit. He hasn't done anything vile since he beat up Cody at Elimination Chamber. And he's feeling like a part-time champion. Like, he's defended at the last 2 PLEs, but he's not on the show every week. We just got out of a long-term part-time champion in Roman Reigns, but at least when he was on TV, they would throw different wrinkles at us, and the matches were really good because Roman is still in his prime. Like they're kind of this is like Tracy McGrady on the Spurs. This is like Vince Carter on the Hawks. This is like Michael Jordan on the Wizards. It's like you're that guy that we love, but you're at a place in your career where you just can't do the things that you used to. You have to, like, Jason Kidd is a great example to me of someone who changed his game to fit where he was at in his career. When Jason Kidd was on the Nets, he was ripping off triple doubles. He was more athletic. And then when he got to the Mavs later in his career and the Knicks, he developed his 3-pointer because he knew that's really all he could add. He couldn't be slashing, dive into the hoop, making these super athletic buckets. He was a shooter and he was a facilitator. Cena has to adapt to where he is right now. And I do feel like he's trying. I do feel like they're trying to course correct a bit, but there's just that thing hanging over us of like The Rock. The Rock is such an important cog in this story. Cena feels like a subplot to Cody and Rock's issues, long-standing issues. Are we going to close the loop on that? So it's I feel like it's always gonna feel a little unfulfilling because of the lack of Rock presence. And so that's my ultimate issue with this. I think it'll always feel a bit disjointed to me because of that missing huge element.
Yeah, it's funny, like as you were talking about how John was going about his stuff, I thought you were going to end with just talking about John, and I was going to be like, but ultimately, no, I think this shit is The Rock fault. No, because like when you look at it, you pull that pin out, because I'm not even as mad. Here's a random thing that I'm incredibly mad about that I haven't seen anybody talk about. I'm fucking mad. Where's Triple H's character in the story? He was very big in the start of this. He was huge in this shit. He was like, he cut a whole promo talking to The Rock. My nigga, like, and then now this nigga, like, he's just not involved in the story anymore. It's like he's not a character anymore. I'm like, bro, I don't know what is happening. Like, bro,
John Cena said he's going to ruin wrestling, and Triple H at the press conference last night just shook his hand and just gave up the mic to him. Like, yes, he's the greatest of all time, record-breaking world champion, probably one of the biggest superstars ever.
Assaults one of your employees at a press conference.
Like, what's going on, bro? Like that's a great point. Something I didn't think about. Like, come on, H. Like, eventually you say something, my nigga. Like, do something. What's going on, bro? Like, you was a special guest referee for Cena Punk back in the day because you wanted to see it, handled the right way. Like, eventually, you have to step in.
Wait a second. What if it's like a power struggle story? I'm about to galaxy brain this. We about to call this on the spot, y'all. All right. Okay. I just got a dumbass idea and we just about to roll with it. So here's my crazy out there idea. This is the type. I want this to work so bad that I'm just reaching for shit at this point. This is what this is. So The Rock's absent, right? Triple H is also absent, but we see Seth, Paul, and Braun Breaker taking over. All three of which we know people are like. Triple H probably thinks of those people favorably. At least two of those we know, or whatever. That third one, I would argue, he probably likes that guy a lot, given the fact that he's made him Intercontinental Champion twice already, and then paired him with Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins. So One thing I was thinking was Seth's language. I kept paying attention to how he kept saying things were best for the business. And I was like, well, the only other people saying that are John and The Rock. But I'm like, he don't seem to be like with them. But then I think about how both H and The Rock are like kind of gone. And I thought about how H cut that promo. And then I was like, oh, well, shit, what if H realized like, oh, I can't like use the power that I actually have. I'm gonna just get these wrestlers together and like they just have factions within the company. And I'm like, well, if y'all gonna go that route, or whatever, that would be my Galaxy Brain version. But the thing is like, that's so much of a reach that even that's wild, and it still is like the has the threads that you need to make sense. Whereas what's happening in reality does not. Like the idea I just gave you makes no, it's stupid. You shouldn't do it, whatever. But the threat, like it's like, oh, this is the story. What the fuck is this, bro?
Yeah.
What is this? This is boring. Like it's starting to get boring.
Yeah.
It's like it's kind of making me mad.
Yeah, it's and people put a lot of it on Triple H, and I get it because he is, the face of all the booking stuff, but we do know it's like the biggest thing is The Rock just
He got dealt a shit hand. We could call it what it is.
Yeah, 100%. And so I really do think he's doing his best, and I'm hoping that this ends better than it's been going. And we do know they're going to spin back to Cody eventually. But there's so many people that I want to see Cena face, and as great as it would be, as great as it was in theory to see him run it back with Orton, as great as it'll be to see him run it back with Punk, like John Cena, Carmelo Hayes, John Cena, Braun Breaker, John Cena, Gunther, John Cena. Like there's a lot of young talent that I think he could do some really interesting stuff with, and so I just hope that they're able to fit that in.
I'm giving up, man. I'm giving up on these niggas, bro. I'm done. I'm out. No, I'm playing. I think it's gonna be good, but I'm like, bro, if you're just gonna keep doing silly shit, like have a Saturday night main event with fucking Joe Hendry. Then, like, just do. If you're gonna be random, be fucking random. Like, don't give me like, you know what I mean? Shit.
Yeah. Shit, that might happen. we might get a John Cena, Joe Hendry.
Yeah, fucking go there. Like if you won't go there, like don't. I hate boring. Like be crazy or make sense, but don't be boring. Come on.
Yeah. Did you have any early predictions on who the men's and women's Money in the Bank winners will be?
Dog, this shit is so up in the air, bruh. I couldn't tell you. The one thing that I do feel like is there's something in me where I'm just like, bro, I think it's Melo's time, man. It's just something where I don't know if you notice with his on screen character, they put the Miz with him, and then he became the straight man. He's playing the more mature one out the people who are on screen now, and I'm like, you don't do that for no reason. What's that about? So I'm like, he's one of the people I got in the running, but at the same time, I could see him having to climb the mid card first before he made that jump. Even though again he has had matches with everybody, but aside from that, when I look at the men's, it's not. I can honestly see somebody like Drew sneaking in, in a weird way. I don't think he would. I don't think it would make sense for him to do it, but I could see that happening. The other one I could see through some Paul Heyman shit is Braun Breaker, but outside of that, I don't know. But I think it would be fucking hilarious if Braun Breaker won the Money in the Bank.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I think it's someone on that Raw side. It could be Seth again, and this would be he won it. What 25th? Yeah, he won it in 25th. No, he didn't win it in 2015. He cashed in 2015. He won it in 2014. So is that right? Yeah, he won it 2014. Yeah.
The WrestleMania year was 15.
Yeah, he cashed in.
Money in the Bank was
Yeah. So I could see it being Seth 10-year. They'd find some way to celebrate the whole 10 years of that. But I could also see it being Braun. I could see it being Sammy. Sammy with that briefcase and his character is very conflicted right now, and I do think Jay is going to lose via cash in. Like I can
see that.
I feel that way. So it's just a matter of like, who is it going to be? I could see a world which they've done it before. Jay has just a grueling championship match with someone.
Yep. Give me the cliche.
Yep. Yeah. And
that's
Seth
how I want him to go.
That briefcase, or Braun walks out with that briefcase, or Sammy helps Jay fight off some people, but he's holding the briefcase, and then he turns on Jay, cashes in. Like There's a lot of interesting directions that they can go with this. A lot of them.
That would
So
be crazy.
I'm intrigued, and I also think that they should put Cody in the match, but have him lose.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
just just to kind of really put some spice on that climb back to the top that he's going to go on. But I definitely think it's someone on the Raw side, and my top three would be Seth, Braun, or Sammy. Women,
Mhm.
feels like Naomi time, man. This proceed with caution shit is fucking great. It's really great, and she's had multiple championship matches. She hasn't been able to win it that way. So I think you put that briefcase on her, you finally do Tiff Jade, and maybe Jade wins and then Naomi cashes in on her, or maybe Naomi turns into a triple threat. Like there's of course a bunch of different directions you can go with that briefcase, but I just think this is the best character work she's ever done. She feels like an even bigger deal than she already was,
Mhm.
and I just think it would be very fitting for her. So I'm I'm rolling with Naomi to win that.
Same. Yeah. She's my number one, my 1A, and literally only other thought would be because of the story is organic at this point would be Bailey. Because Bailey's back,
Mm,
like you know how they say time is a flat circle. Bailey didn't had a long enough career to where she didn't boomerang back to like the hug and sympathy that she's getting from the crowd now. Especially after the interview. When people saw the clip, niggas was like, oh my, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
with Becky coming back the way she did, especially with the promo that Becky just cut, where she was like, "Why are you guys upset? She was garbage, and I took out the
Hmm.
garbage. You should be saying
Hmm.
thank you." I was like, "Jesus Christ!"
Yeah.
so like if you have all that, it's like, damn, I had a chance. I was going to do X, Y, and Z or whatever, and she don't have to necessarily. She could still be like a tweener or whatever, but the idea is that she comes back with like a real chip and makes sense. Her motivation is real. You can feel it. You can understand. It's like, nah, bro. Like I really got shafted. So I could see that as like the positive force, and then the if we on the more of the heel side, oh no, it's Naomi. Hands
Hmm.
down, you can tell she's in her bag. You can tell that she can tell that she's in her bag. You know how I know? By her tweets. I'm looking at these shits and I'm like, oh, this nigga is just, she just be heat checking.
Yeah.
She added the whole family. Was like, damn, since we doing nepotism, can I say, oh shit,
That tweet
let's
killed me. That was good. That was fucking good. She was like, "God damn, like I ain't getting shit. I need to start using these niggas. What's up?"
go.
Like,
Naomi, I was like, yeah, I was like, that's that Florida shit. I was like, there she go. I was like, oh, there you go. I was like, yep. I can always remember. I'm like, bro, Naomi from Orlando, bro. I'm like, you got to remember, like, she could really get off if she really wanted to. And it looked like she just feel free and in her fucking element right now. Let her get that briefcase. Um, cash in, no cash in, title or not. I think you let her cash in. I think you actually have her be successful. I think the perfect person for her to cash in on would be like a Jade or a Bianca. Um, I think I think cashing in on Bianca might be like, to me it would be my favorite option because that to me would be the person who would make her the most. And if not that, then Charlotte, because those are the two people that she has that like y'all are great, but I never got to be where y'all were sort
yeah,
of like relationships with or whatever. So if she was able to knock either one of them off with that cash in, bro, oh man, are you kidding me? Popping bottles in the crib, we going crazy, shutting the whole
hey,
club down
bro.
that night.
And if she cashes in on Bianca or Jade, that's an opportunity to do that triple threat title match. The three black women, which would be just super
I'm gonna
dope.
be so conflicted. I'm gonna have to root against Bianca Belair, bro, because I want
That's
Naomi to take it.
that's tough, man. Like, and people gonna be showing up to that match wearing their fucking Renaissance fits. Like, niggas gonna have cookouts and shit for that match. Like, that's gonna be so niggified, but it'll be dope. It would be
Oh
dope.
shit.
And I feel like that's something like as much as H made those just very create wild comments at Bad Blood saying he doesn't see color and he books talent. Like I do think he knows the gravity of something like that if he were to do it, and the story's there for it.
Yeah.
So
I always
um
remember people that age, they don't have the same language that we do. They literally like it's
yeah,
hard for them to they really do be meaning well, but they don't know what to say a lot of
yeah.
times. Cause I'll be talking to my dad. I'm like, yeah, I know what you meant, my nigga, but like that's not really
You can't say it
don't
that
yeah,
way.
when we walk outside, don't say that shit. And
Yeah.
also let's just not take granddad outside. Let's just leave him.
Yeah. 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 Like I know what he meant, and this is like months later, so we don't even need to relitigate this. But like, I do know
because you
what,
can see
what
it in the
he
fucking
meant.
product, bro.
Yeah.
Look at the Street Profits. Look, bro. Javon Evans, Oba Femi, and Trick Williams. Main event for the NXT champ. Was there ever a triple threat with all black dudes like that before? Or did I miss something?
Yeah.
Are we not setting records still?
These people have been in the business too long and seen the significance of too many moments to not understand what it means when you have someone who's as talented as the people you named are, look the way that they look, and
commercials
have the popularity that they have. Like, you can't ignore, oh yeah, they got all that. Like, yeah, their race doesn't matter. No, it matters, and you know it matters. Like, you may not want to seem like you're giving opportunities just based off of that, but I do know that y'all are informed enough to.
I see it on Instagram.
That matters. Yeah,
girls, like literally women that I know who 3 years ago were like would not post any wrestling thing unless it was like some super like Stone Cold, The Rock like came back sort of thing, whatever. They regularly post Bianca and Jade regularly. Like sometimes I don't see the picture until they post it. Yeah. So it's like I don't want to hear that shit. It's being done right now. If you're not a part of it, maybe you should look at how close you are to. I don't know. That's another conversation.
But yeah, that's our show for today. We kept it real light with y'all. Writer's Block, little Backlash review, a little preview of Money in the Bank winners and all that. So definitely want to hear y'all thoughts in the Patreon comments on social media. Make sure that you follow the A Show RNC. Make sure you subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/the A Show RNC, all that good stuff. Listen to the War Report, listen to the A Show, check out all of our bonus content. Pay a little more, just join our Discord. It's a blast. And yeah, we'll be back with y'all. Chann will be back. Congrats to Chann's cousin graduating this weekend.
Congratulations.
It's graduation season, so we're going to see a lot of caps and gowns and all that flying. Good luck to y'all graduates entering the workforce. Goddamn, this shit.
Yeah.
Corporate America is hell, baby. But
yeah. And real shit, like just as a side note real quick to any of y'all listening, if y'all really do need help, like my socials are posted when we post like y'all as Lil Coyote or whatever, feel free to hit me up. I love giving out professional advice to people because it's really easier than it looks. You just need to know what to do. So feel free. Sorry, just had to plug that.
No, absolutely. That's what we're here for. We're here for Galaxy Brain, but we're also here to help our people. And so with that, hope you have a good week. We'll be back with y'all soon.